beginning. So, dear colleagues, hello one more time. And we are starting one more webinar of CAD for Grad project. As you remember, the aim of the project is to give more info about CAD tools to teachers, students of the universities where the CAD courses haven't been introduced into the curriculum yet. And so we hope that CAD for Grad may be a good kick for all the interested parties to start teaching CADs and learning CADs at the academia side. Besides academia, as you might have noticed from the recent webinars, more and more representatives of the industry are coming to visit our webinars, and this is what you can conclude from the questions they ask at the end of the webinars. So let me introduce our today's guest.
Hello.
This is Vaclav Balacek, who is the head of the technical support team. Yes, the head of the technical support team of Memsource, and he provides training and troubleshooting for hundreds of enterprises and LSPs all over the world, and also is a member of the product development team at Memsource. So I guess Vaclav is one of those guys who know more than others about the computer-aided tools in general and about Memsource in particular. So Vaclav, you're welcome. The floor is yours.
So, without any further waiting, if you can hear me okay, and if you can see the screen that I'm sharing, we can start straight away. My presentation will have 3 parts. Basically, at the beginning, I would like to show you a short PowerPoint presentation, a couple of slides about Memsource. Then I would like to give you just a very quick tour through the product, but not really focusing on too many details, just to give you an idea. And then I would like to leave space for your questions, and all of this should fit in ideally something like 50 minutes if I understand the organization scheme. So Memsource, we call Memsource a translation environment, as you can see from this slide. So maybe the first thing that we should understand is that Memsource is not only not just a CAD tool. So we don't just have the computer-assisted technology features, but we are also a project management and user management system. To some extent, of course, there will be many more advanced project management systems in the world, but Memsource also has some flow management, project management, and user management features. So let's move to the next slide. And here is just a few details about the history. So the project started in 2010. We started selling licenses in 2011, and we are adding quite a considerable number of users every year. Actually, 40,000 users was something that was true at the beginning of 2015, while we already register over 80,000 users. Maybe I just need to add something here so that it doesn't sound too exaggerated. These figures are real, but Memsource also offers a free personal edition that is quite widespread, quite used, and it's free of charge. So that's also why we attract a lot of users. It comes with a few limitations, but still a lot of freelance translators are able to use this even for their real translation work. The limitations, just to give you an idea, is that you can work with 2 files at a time, more than 2 files at a time. If I need to work with another file, I need to delete one of the previous ones. So if users can live with this, then Our free edition is something that freelancers can use and indeed do use. We are ISO certified for ISO 27001 information security management. And out of those 80,000 users, I would say that currently at the moment we have something over 900 paying customers, paying users, mostly LSPs, of course. And you can see examples of 3 LSPs that are our customers. Moravia, I think, is something that we don't need to introduce. It's really the top 10 LSPs in the world. We have signed a contract. Um, Actually, at the very beginning of our um, uh, project, we started a contract. We signed a contract with Honiaku Center, which is one of the largest LSPs in Japan, and we also have quite a big presence in the Nordics, where semantics or text-minded can be quoted as examples. So what is Memsource? It's a complete translation environment. We will see more of that later on. We have a few modules from which the product consists, and that is a translation memory, term base. We also integrate machine translation, and we have translators workbenches, actually, not just one workbench, but we, in addition to web-based editor, we also have a desktop editor. We have project management, user management, and translation management. That's what I have already said. And a CAT tool all in one. We support over 40 file formats. And we like to think that we are the largest cloud-based translation platform at the moment, given the number of users and the volume of words, the number of words processed on a monthly basis in the system. These are the main components. Memsource Cloud. We refer to Memsource Cloud as the project and translation memory and term-based and user management platform. Then we have a Memsource Editor, which is a desktop application. It's a free download. And then we have Memsource Web Editor, which is a fully web-based translators workbench. These two editors, I think it's quite important to say that we have them, because I think this is one of the things that makes us unique in other cloud-based CAT tools. So maybe we can just say a few words about what it means to be cloud-based. You will have probably heard about CAT tools like Trados or MemoQ that are server-based. So if you need to use them, you need to buy a license, get some hardware, install things on your hardware, on your servers. You need someone to take care of everything. Memsource is a web-based service, so you just pay monthly subscriptions if you're a paying user, and all you need is your username and password, and you just log into the system and use it from there. There is no need for installation, no need for any upfront investments, very little time needed for user training, but we'll come to this later on. So these are some of the key characteristics. No need for installation, especially. You just put in your username and password, and you're there. You're in the system. You can start working. We pay a lot of attention to security, and of course, the whole communication is encrypted according to the state-of-the-art standards. This has been repeated for the third time now, but let's say it once again. It's a web-based tool, but supports offline work too. It's designed for real-time collaboration, and also one of the things that of interest to potential users is that it is API enabled. So Memsource can actually be integrated with other systems, third-party systems. So you can combine web-based systems and create advanced environments. Memsource is mobile. You can work, of course, from your home, from your office, or from an internet cafe. All you really need is an internet connection, of course, for the project management stuff, for the actual translation, because our desktop editor is here available to be used. You don't even need your internet connection. Um, being mobile means that your students uh, will be able to start their projects in classes, for example, and then finish at home. You don't need to carry anything with you. It's like with a cloud-based storage space. You simply log into your space and you work from there, from anywhere. Uh, we like to think that Memsource is really user-friendly. This was one of the uh, key ideas when we developed the tool, to make it as friendly as possible. We know that this has some limitations, that, for example, we are not able to offer so many uh, tiny little options for various things that some of our competitors can do. But we what we think is that we have created a streamlined product where going step by step for users is very intuitive. Memsource is also platform independent. That's also one of the things we can emphasize here, that we will work on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Even you can use Memsource from your Android phone or laptops. This is just, I won't waste too much time on this. Uh, this is the outcome of a user survey carried out in 2014. What we like about this and why we present it is not to show off too much, but to explain that a lot of users use Memsource not because it would be the tool of their choice, but because they are told to do so. So if a language service provider, if an agency decides to implement Memsource, of course they will ask their translators to work in the environment. And one thing is that it is free of charge for translators. So those who pay are agencies, language service providers, that need to set up translation teams. This is where we get our money from. Translators do not pay, and yet, even though they are often made to work in Memsource and it's not their own choice to do so, they have expressed satisfaction with working in the tool. This is just a screenshot from the project management dashboard. This is actually taken from inside a project, but we'll have a look at this in a minute. This is a screenshot of the editor. Um, this is where you do your translations. I think it's quite straightforward and intuitive. The original text is on the left. Then there is a column for the translation and another column on the right that gives you the cat tool results. And before we actually go to the product, let me talk a little bit about what Memsource can do for universities. So Memsource Academic Edition is a Memsource sponsored edition offered to academic institutions with translation programs. It can only be used for student training and not for commercial purposes, which is quite obvious, I believe. The person setting up the academic edition must be a teacher or another official representative of an academic institution with a translation program. So we offer free academic editions to universities because what I said about Memsource at the beginning is also true, of course, for universities. If that means that if you decide to go Memsource, actually I'll come back to this later. This is what you need to do if you want to start using Memsource in your classes. You just go to a web page from which you set up a free trial, um, which will take you 2 minutes. You just fill in a form from a website. Actually, we can go to memsource.com and see how that would work. So you go for the team edition, which is sort of a flagship, the main product, and you start a 30-day trial, and you fill in these fields here with your name, your email address, and so on, and you're there. So that's the first step you need to take. The second step, in exchange for us providing you with a free edition of Memsource to be used in your classes, we will request that you put a sort of a thank you note somewhere on your university's website, acknowledging that your university translation department has been granted free access to Memsource Academic Edition. This doesn't need to be anything formal. Sentence really will do, or one phrase. You know, Memsource used with the courtesy of Memsource. Whatever. You need to contact our support team, who will convert your team edition into academic edition, and that is opened usually on yearly basis. So we typically set up your academic account till the 31st of October of the given year, and then if you wish to continue using it, you just send us an email a few days in advance, and we will extend your edition for another year. So it's really easy and straightforward to start using Memsource. You don't need to install anything anywhere. You just set up your account, and basically you can be going in. The thank you note should include our logo, which we will provide you with, and a link, of course, to our website. That is the valuable asset that we seek. A link from, I mean, to be honest, and I think most of you will understand what this means. A link from a university site is something that improves, increases the value of your website. So it puts us forward when users search using browsers if we have links from university websites. I'm coming back one slide back to examples of 5 institutions that are currently already using Memsource Academic Edition in Russia. I haven't prepared any institutions from the Ukraine, but I'm sure there are a few again. So if you're seeking for references, please let us know, and we can give you the contact details to the responsible people in these institutions that would be able to give you some details if you're looking for it. Support and training, this is my domain. Memsource will assist you in the activation of your account. So we can guide you through, really. We are used to setting up online demos with our users, and we can guide you through the initial steps if this is something that you need help with. We have an email help desk, which is always ready to help. It's not 24/7, but we try to keep it something like 16/76. I'm sure that help will reach you soon, whenever you need it. We have a collection of training videos on our YouTube channel, which includes things like my first translation project to set up things, how to use Memsource editors, and so on. And we also organize free webinars for both project manager and linguist users, usually once a month. And you will find the list of open webinars either from our newsletters or in our /webinars. So this is also something or a platform where you can seek advice and guidance for your future work or tuitions. And that's all, really. So unless there are any questions, so far we have gone 15 minutes, so I think we're on time. And we will move to the tool itself now. So Alexander, I don't think there have been any questions asked so far. if you or maybe okay.
Uh, yes, there is one, but actually we agreed that we'll answer all at the end. So you may go on the way you do. Yes. So at the end of
Perfect.
the whole session, we'll answer them. Mhm.
So um, this is the login page to Memsource Cloud. If I want to use it from my account, I just put my username and password. I will get to the web-based platform, where, as you can see, just to give you a quick guidance through what we see here, we have a tab for projects, we have a tab for translation memories, we have a tab for term bases, users, and setup, and these are actually the 5 modules that constitute the system. If we say we have a file to be translated. So just a quick guide through this. I need a project name, so demo for academia, for example. I need to specify my languages, so I'll be translated from English into Russian, let's say. There can be more than one target language, of course. Then I need my settings, which I can leave at the default, or I can uh, change them. So, for example, on the machine translation side, Memsource integrates a couple of machine translation solutions. Let me choose Google for this project so that I can um, have some translations in the file that I will upload. Um, Then I have some settings for the analysis, for pre-translation, but really I can leave everything in the default mode. I don't need to change anything. I click on create and I'm ready with the project. The next step would be to upload the files to be translated. So I click on new and choose any number of files really that I would like to translate. So let me choose 2 Word documents. We support a lot of file formats. I think in the presentation I said 40. I guess this would even be higher now, somewhere near 50 file types. But Microsoft Office, of course, would most likely be uh, the mostly used ones. If I click on create, the files will be uploaded. So the 2 Word documents were uploaded and segmented and made ready for translation. I can already at this moment the from the account of a project manager, I can also be the translator, of course, and I can click on a file to open it in the web editor. So here you see the target is empty. This is where I will be putting my translations. I have machine translation suggestion provided um, because that's what I chose in the project setting. If I close this and just have a look around here a little bit more, you see I have a section for translation and translation memories and term bases. Both are empty because I haven't selected any or created any translation memory. I expect that most of you, if not all of you, would be familiar with the concepts of translation memory and term base. Let me just make this smaller so that I can click the tabs. Um, okay, fine. So of course, what I need to do is to create or select an existing translation memory. So let me just see if I have any. I have these 6, 7 translation memories already created in my account. So when you set up your account, everything will be empty, of course. There will be no translation memories, no term bases. You need to create those for your own account. So I can choose one of the translation memories here and do the same with the term base, or create a new one, of course, if TB new, something like that. I won't go into too many details because we would really spend the next hour explaining how you can manage translation memories and spaces and so on. And I don't think this is really the intended topic for this session. So let me take a few typical steps. Analysis. I am analyzing the two files in order to be able to see what we have in them. So in a couple of seconds, I see that the two files that I imported contain 44 segments. Some of them are some of them are already saved in the translation memory and come as 100 or 101% matches from the translation memory. I also see a detailed breakdown for each file. Now, as I said, you can do the translation yourself, and that is Memsource is attractive to translation agencies. You can assign users to certain tasks. So in our users section, we will see that we have administrator users, project manager users, and then linguist users, and these are translators. So if I go to my project, and these would be your students, of course, you will select the file, click on edit, and then choose one of the users from the list provided. You can actually choose more than one and then send notifications to groups of users in order to be able to offer a job to more people and then wait for the first one to accept. But typically you would probably assign just one person to a file and then you send that person an email notification. This is also what makes Memsource and other web-based tools, to be fair here, unique compared to desktop-based tools, and that is that all content is saved in a central depository. All your translation memories, term bases, projects, everything rests in one account, and you don't send any files by email or in any other way. You simply provide access to your project to different people. And this is what I have just done. I have assigned one of the files to a translator and emailed that job to the translator. And if I open another browser and log in with the translator's username and password, you will see that the translator will see the project in the list of his projects or her projects, and will be able to open this and see one of the two files, of course, because the other file we haven't assigned to that translator. So this translator is just going to work on one of the two files. And again, the typical scenario would be this. The translator accepts the job and then opens in a web editor or downloads a bilingual XLIF file that would be processed through desktop editor. But I think in the interest of time, we don't need to go to the desktop editor, really. This is something that we can discuss with those who are interested later on. This is the web editor. And yeah, I have already some results from the translation memory and from machine translation. So I can use these and start my translation. I'm just confirming whatever I got suggested, which would actually come from machine translation. So please do not look at the actual translation. I'm just taking whatever resources are available and putting them on the translation side. Now, because this is a web-based tool, everything that I'm doing happens in real time or is synchronized in real time within the whole account. So if, as a translator, I have translated a few segments, I go back to my project, I will see 11% completed. And also if I log back to the project manager's account, I will see 11% as well. And I can actually, as a project manager, I can open the file and I can see what has been translated so far. So this opens a good opportunity for you as teachers to create and manage projects and distribute work to your students, send them assignments, and then wait for the students to complete their jobs and also see the progress. So it's a little big brother scenario, really, that some freelancers are not too happy about. But on the other hand, for project managers or for those who organize the whole project, this really provides tremendous opportunities to manage and control what is going on. Actually, if for any reason as a project manager I decide that this translator should no longer be working on the translation because, for example, that translator hasn't communicated with me for some time, I simply cancel the assignment, and that will completely block the access to the project for the translator. So yeah, that's also quite an important aspect to it. Um, if if I re-establish the connection again and go back to the translator's view, I'm back in the project now. And if I just continue translating, now I'm using the machine translation suggestions. So I'm just confirming these. Wait a minute, something didn't. Yeah, I think my laptop is lagging behind a little bit. Let me just refresh the page. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let me just go and copy source to target in all segments and confirm. I should be able to do this. And now I'm actually at the end of the translation. Memsource also integrates a quality assurance module. So now I'm able to run a QA check on my file that will give me a list of warnings showing potential problems. Of course, I get tons of spelling mistakes because spell checker is also embedded. And what I did was copy source to target, where obviously I should see Russian text. So that's also that's a lot of warnings. Actually, all of them. But I wanted to show you that if I move to any segment containing numbers, for example, if I make a mistake in a number, so I put the number 12 instead of 1, I will get a QA warning for this. So my QA check will that there is a missing number and will take me to the segment in question. So we have, similarly to other tools, we have a set of checks that are performed on the file that you're translating and guiding you to where we see potential problems. Here is how terminology works. So if I have a term base, as a translator, I can put in new terms. So let's say that parliament should be, should be translated, I hope, like parliament. Once I do this, I will get a yellow highlight. And whenever I come into a segment where the term parliament appears, I will get a term-based suggestion like this. I can also use the filter here and just see, okay, I don't have any other segment that would contain the term parliament, but I can put something like and that I would like to translate as e, but I want to make this case sensitive and exact. I will enter it like this, and now whenever I have the word and in any segment, it will be highlighted like this, and actually all the occurrences will be highlighted, and I will be provided suggestions from the term base. It's taking some time now, but I think this is just because my internet connection isn't at its best condition at the moment. Okay. As soon as the translation is done, the translator, when reaching 100%, will mark the job as completed, change the status to completed, which will, in this case, I'm not able to do it because as a project manager, I decided that I will not accept any work from translators without them fully completing a QA check. So I'll just unselect this option for now. And now the translator will be able to change the status to completed. This is also, you know, one of the advantages of a cloud-based tool. Really, whatever you do happens instantly and affects all other users. We can go in the term base, of course, and we will directly see the terms there, both parliament and end. And whoever is connected to this term base at this moment will see the same. So if you have bigger projects with teams of translators, like you will have a 30-page document that needs to be translated in 2 hours. So you will have to split it among 15 people, 2 pages each. And everyone will be connected to the same translation memory. Everyone will instantly see what the others are translating. Everything will happen in real time, as if those people were sort of sitting in the same room and talking to each other. So this is we like to think it's a big collaborative tool for that addresses the needs of translation teams. Okay, I think this could be the end to the demo part. And if you agree, Alexander, we could move to your questions.
Yes, thank you, Václav. Sure, we are moving to questions now. And I see we have some. Probably we'll start with the ones, in the order they appeared. When you were talking about the ability of the universities to apply and to have the academic license, there was a question from, if I'm not mistaken, Alexander, I will try to find it now, who asked who exactly, yes, here it is, what is, and the email for contacting to receive the free academic licenses, and what should I specify in my email writing to the representative? And probably most likely, who is the representative to write it?
So probably the simplest way for you is to send an email to support@memsource.com. If you can write it in the chat, or can I do it? That would be support at. Oops, I'm not sure if. Okay, no. If I type at, it changes all the letters into something. So let me put it here. So the email address would be simply support@memsource.com, and you can, as Shined, I think, answered to this, go to memsource.com website and click on team user, follow the prompt. Either you can do it through this if you find it intuitive enough, or just contact us on support@memsource.com and we will guide you through the process.
Okay.
Can Memsource? No.
So there should be only
Sorry?
the will, right? Yes. So there should be only a bit of motivation. There are many ways people can contact you and get the free academic licenses. Yes, the second question, can or could a TM be exported from other software that have been used before, and then, as I understand, used as Memsource TM? This is the question from Elena.
It is really one of our ambitions to make the tool compatible with other tools. Nowadays,
Mhm.
it's not like systems aren't isolated. We need to talk to each other. So translation memories can be exported and imported via TMX or Excel. We also support a simple Excel layout with 2 columns. And term bases can be imported, exported through TBX and Excel again. And the actual files are compatible through the XLIF bilingual format. So you can communicate with other tools on all these 3 levels. On the level, on the level of files, on the level of translation memories and term bases.
Okay.
Can Memsource be used for project management?
Yeah, sure. If you're through with
Yeah,
the
I can see the
question,
questions, so I can read them.
yeah, training. This is actually the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, great,
So
great.
can Memsource be
Okay,
used
do
project
please.
management training? Maybe you know about such examples. Well, like I said, Memsource includes some project management features. So we store data with projects. We can list projects, sort projects, organize them, customize columns, filter, and so on. It's not really too much, I would say. There's a lot more project management features, of course, in tools like Plunet or XTRF, with which we integrate. But yeah, I think it could be used for this purpose as well. How do you see the future of cloud cats? What
As I
new
understand, the question is
features
from a teacher.
should we expect in a couple of years? Okay, yeah. Prepare our students for massive transition from cloud-based to
Mhm.
from client-based to cloud-based systems. Competent to answer this, I'm afraid. My personal opinion is that yes, things are moving to cloud. You see a lot things that have recently moved to cloud, typically, for example, emails, data storage, um, backups, um, a lot of communication. And this was the reason why when we were thinking about building a cat tool in 2010, we decided to go for cloud purely because at that time there weren't too many systems that would be cloud-based. And we in Memsource, of course, believe that this is the future for technology, but uh, to say something objective, of course, there are still a lot of people that have objections to cloud, that do not want to go cloud-based. So I don't think it's the end of client-based tools yet. There will certainly be market for both. And if I'm to stand as an independent consultant here, I would say that it is definitely worth that you continue telling your students that there are these 2 platforms from which they should choose. And if they decide to go for cloud, then Memsource, I hope, should be the tool of their first choice. But I would not, once again, I would not say that this is the end for client-based systems yet. Um, what level of confidentiality does Memsource have? Does Memsource contain a financial part, and can it be used for accounting? So confidentiality is um, secured at a few levels. One thing I can talk about is that when you set up your account in Memsource, you get an empty space to which you start feeding your data. There will be no translation memories, no term bases, no projects, of course. And it will stay like this for all times. So we do not extract any data from your account and use it for any purposes, which is, for example, what Makehead does. I believe that was one of the tools that was presented to you before. But this is, I'm not trying to say something bad about them. I'm just saying that with your knowledge, they will tell you, they will extract data from your translation memories and use them to train their machine translation engine on which the tool is based to a certain extent. We don't do this. Just keep everything separate. Um, we have a system of encryption. We have a system of authentication. So, for example, under setup, you can access and security. You can define the IP addresses from which users will be able to access the system, which would again increase the level of security for you. We are now also working on a new set of rules where you will, for example, be able to implement authentication over phone. So whoever logs in will need to, will get a message on their phone and will need to enter another code. So the security and confidentiality for your data. The next question was about financials. Yes, we have price lists and we have quotes. So you can create your price lists here and you can generate quotes from your project. So you can, for example, go and use one of the analysis and one of the net rate scheme and one of the price list to generate a quote which will contain some rate, and then this can be used for quoting purposes. We also have reports. So accounting, it's not really something that we do. We don't have a billing module, something that would make it possible for you to create invoices, but we have reports which makes it possible to generate, say, a report for all jobs created from a certain date to a certain date with some further characteristics, and this will create a CSV or Excel-based report that can be processed for billing. And also coming back to the beginning of my presentation, where I said that Memsource is API enabled. This is probably something that you would not really be able to do, but you can integrate Memsource with any other system. So your billing system, for example, can extract data from source in order to create invoices and fully automate the process. Can freelancer's Memsource account talk to an LSP's account? Yes, in the opposite direction. LSP's accounts can talk to freelancer accounts. We have a system of project sharing, so you can actually assign work to freelancers that are outside your organizations, other users of Memsource. But this is a separate process that that you need to set up and do voluntarily. Otherwise, translation is the translator's property. So, well, this is something that needs to be discussed always between the LSP and the translator, who will keep the translation memory and the term base, and what happens to the translated files. Okay. No more questions so far.
Yes, I will probably take. Yeah, yes, Václav. If you hear me, I will take an advantage of being a moderator and ask a couple of more questions. If you can you tell a bit more about the LQI model? you mentioned. And the second question, which is always asked about the cloud-based tools, what is the minimum speed of the internet connection which is required for a translator to be able to use your CAT tool?
Okay.
I mean the
Coming
cloud-based CAT tool.
to the first question, what exactly did
Yep.
you mean by
Thank
LQA?
you.
You mean the quality assurance check?
So, yes, quality assurance. What options does it include? What can be checked when the translation is done? This is
So
actually
in
really
quality
interesting.
assurance settings, actually, if you click on setup, you will get to a section where you will find server settings, and this really includes all the settings that you will need to do, not too many things. We have quality assurance, and this is the full list of checks that can potentially be performed on your file. So it will be spell check, it will be terminology, it will be formatting, things like multiple spaces, repeated words, missing words, inconsistencies. So if you have the same source text that will be translated in two different ways, we will show this as a warning. And we can also check for the length. So you can say, you know, my translations must not be longer than 50 characters. Or you can, by the way, also do this on a segment per segment basis. For the internet connection, I will leave this on so that you can have a look at this. For the internet connection, for using Memsource Cloud, you should probably be on something like 100 kilobits per second at least. I think 50 would still do, but things would already be slow, like if you browse websites. I would probably compare the work in Memsource to your standard way of browsing websites. You read newspaper or something. So what you see there is what you will get in Memsource, and maybe yeah, I can thank you for this question because this is also something important about the system, is that all the computing operations never take place on your workstation. So you can really be working from obsolete hardware, and all that really matters is whether or not you're connected to the internet. And everything that happens, like uploading files and analyzing pre-translation, everything happens on our servers. So this is completely irrelevant on the speed of your internet connection or your the quality of your hardware. And then for the actual translation editors, if you work in web editor, this will not be happy if your internet connection is too slow. So you should be on something like, say, 200 kilobits and more here with the web editor, which on the other hand is something that everybody has nowadays, I believe, or I mean most of users will have. If you don't have that, if you're connected from your mobile phone on GPRS, for example, or Edge, if your internet connection is really slow, then that's where desktop editor will come in handy, because this is really something that is that will be happy with just very slow internet connection at the level of GPRS, like I said. Okay.
Okay. So actually, I asked about the internet connection since pretty often universities don't have it that high, and for them it may be actual. But the figures that you have mentioned are quite acceptable. I can hardly imagine any university nowadays having it lower than that.
And you don't,
So
of
it's
course,
more than
need
enough.
anything
So
like 5 megabits
it's
both
quite
ways, or
compatible.
you know, it's just
Yeah.
any internet connection that you have will
Oh
be
yeah.
fine.
Yes. Usually, it's much
Yeah.
higher than that. So it's the
Yeah.
minimum that
That's
people
right.
don't even think about. So it's quite okay. Okay, as I see there are no other questions, I want to
Yes.
thank to the audience.
Thank you
Thank you,
for sharing
friends,
your
very
time with
much.
us.
I should say our today's yes, today's answer questions and answer session was one of the longest out of all the whole set of the webinars. So
Thank you.
thank you, Václav, too, for your patience and for your detailed answers.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm sure we will have more questions when we publish the webinar. In several
Okay.
days, it will be online on YouTube channel and in Facebook groups. So if you have questions after that, you may direct them to Václav, to the support, or you may put questions right in the group where the webinar is published, and I will put it to Václav, and after having the answer will be published right the way
Yes.
where the question was asked. So there is also another
Yes.
way of
Okay.
communication.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
Then
one more
have an
time.
interesting day.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm sure there will
Thank
be
you.
many interested
Thanks.
in
Bye bye.
Memsource. Thank you.
Bye.
You too. All the best. Bye. Bye bye.